We spent several hours with Karen Read over 2 days, with and without her attorneys. We asked for the interview and were somewhat surprised she said yes. Read tells me she withdrew to New Hampshire for 2 months after her first trial. She's been preparing for round 2 ever since.
I have nothing to hide. My life is in the balance, and it shouldn't be.
It is unusual for someone who's accused of murder to do this interview or others.
I've seen the more information the public has, the more they understand what we already know.
Good to see you.
We first met Karen Read at a hotel in the Seaport. She's logged 150 nights here since her legal fight began. It's the command center for her defense, and she is one of the commanders.
When we get new information, we just divide and conquer, and we can break it down really fast.
On the road, we drove by the financial services firm where she worked for 15 years before her arrest.
Little did I know, I'd reconnect with someone I had dated nearly 20 years earlier, and then he would be tragically killed, murdered, and I've been framed for it.
We appreciate you guys coming here.
Read's LA-based lawyer Alan Jackson joined her 3 years to the date of John O'Keefe's death.
How much do you think about him?
I think about him in terms of his final days, his final weeks. I mean, we have his cell phone, which a cell phone to anyone is like a diary. The time that I spent with John, 2 years, it's now been 3 since he's gone. And I have very mixed feelings, you know, when I look back on John, because I see a lot of poor decisions that were all precursors to his death.
Poor decisions by whom?
By both of us. Just drinking, being around the wrong people is chief among them.
Read admits drinking in the hours before O'Keefe was found unresponsive outside 34 Fairview Road in Canton.
She just repeated the phrase over and over again, I hit him, I hit him.
Multiple first responders testified that Read initially said herself she hit O'Keefe with her SUV. Read says she only questioned if she could have hit him.
Yeah, I went through every possibility. He was near the road and he was dying. And I didn't think he was purposely put in that place. It did not cross my mind for several days that they did this to John, that John was treated like a piece of garbage.
When Read says they, she is referring to people who were gathered inside 34 Fairview.
If John was beaten up and attacked in that house, who did it?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. And it's not for us to know. Somebody other than Karen is responsible for that, for the killing of John.
What is the one thing in this case you believe proves your innocence?
John's body, no bruise, 6,000-pound, full-size SUV, not a bruise on his body, not a fracture below his head.
If you were framed, who's calling the shots?
I don't know the interconnections, the interpersonal relationships among these people. I have a strong personal opinion that what has motivated this persecution of me is power.
I'm declaring a mistrial in this case.
Read says her initial thought of going through a second trial was a gut punch, but now she sees it as more time to prepare. She's talking now. Will she talk then?
I'm not afraid of taking the stand, and I'm clearly not afraid of speaking, but they're playing hardball. So we'll weigh the pros and cons, and we'll make another second game time decision.
Who would you rather face? Is it Adam Lally, who we saw in the first trial, or is it Hank Brennan?
I don't care who I face. I have the truth. I have the best attorneys. Do your worst.
One of the possible outcomes here could be a conviction. That could be prison time. How much have you thought about that?
I think about it every day, about prison time, and it doesn't frighten me the way it did 3 years ago.
Read sold her Mansfield home in November to help pay her estimated $5 million in legal fees. She lives with her parents, who are a part of an inner circle that numbers about 10. Supporters have donated $750,000 to her defense fund. And she says people routinely pick up her meals.
I don't know the last time I've done anything but tip a waiter. And that generosity, that's all helping fuel this. It helps me spiritually, and it helps me financially.
She's well aware not everyone has her back. John O'Keefe's family is convinced she's a killer and have filed a wrongful death lawsuit against her.
Do you feel the presence of the O'Keefe family behind you in court?
I honestly, I almost look through them. Paul sitting there doesn't impact me, it doesn't bother me. That's John's brother. They've attempted to send me messages, and as soon as I see the name comes up, I just delete it.
Online, Reed is bombarded by love and hate. Yes, she pays attention.
This case has become your identity. Is that for the rest of your life? Or will one day you just want to put it all behind you?
I don't think I can, even if I wanted to, and I'm okay with that.
We asked the Norfolk DA's office if we could profile and interview Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan. That request was declined. I'm Ted Daniel for your local station, Boston 25 News.